Tonight on CTV News at 6, back to bargaining. The province and teachers union return to the table next week.
Parents should take this as a good sign that we're having conversations.
New information leads to a new search area for a missing teen presumed dead.
This is worth our best shot.
And statues stolen from another Edmonton community.
They actually cut the legs off to take them, we assume, for scrap metal.
CTV Edmonton, local breaking news with Jeff Hastings.
Good evening. After 4 school days lost to a province-wide teachers' strike, the Alberta Teachers Association and the province are heading back to the bargaining table. The ATA will meet Tuesday with the Teachers Employer Bargaining Association and a mediator. CTV's Nerman Issa joins us now live from West Edmonton. Nerman, this news comes on the same day the province has locked teachers out.
Yeah, well, Jeff, we are outside of a West End Elementary School where earlier today there were no students here because of that teacher strike, and staff were told that they had to leave the premises by 1 p.m. Now, earlier this week, the province issued a lockout notice to ATA members that kicked in today, and now the teachers union is heading back to the bargaining table, hoping to get negotiations underway.
Parents should take this as a good sign that we're having conversations. We know what teachers are looking for and what they are asking in terms of trying to fix the situations that we see in school.
ATA President Jason Schilling says exploratory discussions that started last Friday helped to develop further negotiations. The two sides will sit down again to hash out a deal to get Alberta teachers and students back in the classroom. Schilling says if teachers are eventually forced back to work, it would be under a work-to-rule strike mandate.
What it would mean if we were doing something like that is teachers wouldn't do the work above and beyond what is their normal work to do. So, of course, instruction, marking, supervision, that stuff would be done. But extracurricular activities, clubs, that work would not happen.
The Alberta government says it's hoping the ATA's proposal is reasonable, fair, and adequately represents the terms teachers want to see reflected in their deal. Now, teachers are not walking a picket line. Instead, they are rallying. And tomorrow morning, there is going to be an All Out for Education rally that will be taking place near the Walter Dale Bridge. Jeff?
All right. Thank you, Nerman. That's Nerman Issa live for us tonight. An expert panel tasked with looking at provincial post-secondary funding has delivered its final report. The report makes 11 recommendations to modernize and strengthen the post-secondary system. On the money side, it includes a potential new funding framework, changes to tuition and student aid. Other recommendations are based around international students, institutional autonomy, and making it easier for schools to create new programs to answer demand. The province says it will review the report and engage with Alberta's colleges and universities for feedback and next steps. Some pharmacies in Edmonton are already offering COVID-19 shots to those who aren't covered by the province. As Connor Hogg reports, early access comes at an extra cost.
It's $100 for a shot that was free for years.
If it's something you really want to do, then I think you should pay for it.
There's so many people that cannot afford the $100.
There's a week and a half to go until phase 2 of Alberta's COVID vaccine rollout, when the general public can pay the province $100 for the COVID-19 vaccine.
Hi, how you doing?
The same is
Good.
At Crestwood Apothecary, COVID shots are available now with a catch.
Our wholesalers currently are giving us 5 shots a day, so supply is very limited. Those 5 shots go very, very quickly in the day, so it's until we can get more, a regular supply or a larger supply, it's going to be like that for the next, I imagine, couple of weeks.
Each dose comes with a bill for $155, more expensive than the $100 you would pay the province. Crestwood pharmacist Michael Reese says that's because AHS gets a bulk deal. He says the added cost isn't scaring patients away. Crestwood is getting more requests than it has supply for. Because of that, COVID shots are walk-in only, first come, first served.
People just want to be able to come into the pharmacy, get their shot, and be done with it.
I'm in the position where I do have private coverage, but not everyone else is, so I think it is a little bit tricky in that sense.
Danielle Rouleau just received one of Thursday's 5 doses.
The fact that we are able to get access to the COVID vaccine through our local pharmacy is something that I think is really helpful.
Reese says this year's COVID doses are packaged individually, so there's less wastage than previous years.
Previously, it was available in a vial, so if you used 1 dose and you had to waste 4 doses, obviously the wastage was a lot more significant. So yeah, I think the government should definitely look at maybe trying to put the COVID shots back into pharmacies.
If you're interested in getting the jab early, Reese says you should call your local pharmacist and ask if they can order the shot. The general public can start booking shots with the province starting Monday, October 20th. Connor Hogg, CTV News, Edmonton.
The province says nearly 35,000 COVID-19 vaccines have been administered through its official public health clinics so far this year. Police are narrowing down the area where they think the body of a missing teenager from Edmonton may be. Evan Kenny has more on where officers are looking and how the search has evolved.
This is worth our best shot.
That shot is being taken 160 kilometers west of Edmonton. Police say new information in the past 24 hours has led them to this wooded area in the search for Samuel Berg.
A number of pieces of information that have come together in the last week that have caused us to focus on this particular spot.
Police say this investigation is coming together like a puzzle and that new tips and information are helping them get a clearer picture.
You've got all these pieces on the table, and as you work through it, you don't always know what you're looking for and where.
Bird was last seen June 1st in West Edmonton. Police now believe he is dead. His disappearance is criminal and his remains are hidden. While they've narrowed the search, police say there's still lots of work to be done.
It's a massive area, we'll do our best, but there's no guarantees that we're going to find Samuel here, unfortunately.
Still, officers and other search and rescue teams continue to look.
We're committed to working together to bring this home, whether it's today, tomorrow, this week, or next spring. This is not going away.
Police are asking people living in the Carrot Creek area to keep their eyes open for anything unusual. Police have suspects, but no arrests have been made. Evan Kenny, CTV News.
A 42-year-old man is dead after a shooting in downtown Edmonton last night. Police officers were called to 109th Street and 107th Avenue just before 9 o'clock. Officers found the man outside of a home. He died there. The homicide unit is now leading the investigation, and no charges have been laid. A Canadian company has won an international award for its online fraud protection software. The Scam Shield Investor Protection competition was launched last year by the Edmonton Police Service and the Alberta Securities Commission. Vancouver-based Stingray Security beat out more than 30 other submissions to take first place. Its web browser extension identifies unsafe links and blocks threats like online crypto investment scams, phishing websites, and fake investment platforms. Edmonton police say investment scams are one of the most prevalent forms of fraud.
According to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre, $310 million was reported lost to investment fraud alone in 2024. This accounts for nearly half of all fraud reported to the Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre that year.
The Stingray web extension can be found and downloaded online. A string of stolen statues in Edmonton has one community worried about its public artwork. CTV's Kate Squarn has more on the thefts and what's being done to prevent them in the future.
Guinevere Park in the southwest community of Glastonbury used to feature several prominent deer statues, but recently the statues were stolen. Surveillance footage on the morning of September 20th shows 2 people lifting the statue up into the back of a red pickup truck and driving away. The theft took just minutes. This is not the first instance of these thefts occurring in the area. Footage from the same camera captured another statue being taken in March. Gary Bohm with the Parkland Neighborhood Residents Association says the statues were what made the park special for residents.
You always see kids around hugging them, having pictures taken on them. So they're very much part of the community, much part of the social part of the community.
Guinevere Park isn't the only area where deer statues were stolen. Just down the road at Park Le Surf, which literally translates to Deer Park, a deer statue was stolen right in this exact spot. Now, the association says these statues are anchored down by steel rods, meaning those who stole them went through a lot of trouble to do so.
The thieves actually came. In some cases, they knocked them over. Some, they actually cut the legs off to take them, we assume, for scrap metal.
Bohm says the association made the call to remove remaining statues to keep them safe over the winter, with planning around visibility and future locations before they're brought back into the community.
We're going through a program of seeing what we can do to protect them better and keep them safe when we reinstall them.
Edmonton Police are aware of the theft at Guinevere Park, saying they continue to investigate and encourage anyone with information to contact them. Gates Gorin, CTV News, Edmonton.
Federal inspectors have determined a natural gas pipeline rupture last year west of Edmonton was caused by a crack in a pipe. In April 2024, a TC Energy pipeline ruptured northwest of Edson. No one was injured, but it did spark a wildfire. The fire did not threaten any communities. The Transportation Safety Board report says pieces of the pipeline were found as far away as 200 meters from the site. The report says pressure had built up on the crack, which caused the rupture. The crack was detected in an inspection 2 years earlier, but it was classified as non-reportable. Parks Canada has finished gathering geotechnical data at the site of a deadly rockfall in Banff National Park. In mid-June, 2 hikers were killed and 3 others were injured when rocks gave way at a popular hiking spot, Bow Glacier Falls. Parks Canada says it will look at the data gathered over the winter. In the meantime, the trail will remain closed with no anticipated reopening date. Officials say it won't be until at least next year. Parks Canada says it's received no reports of visitors in the closed backcountry area. Anyone who tries to go there could be arrested and fined. The Edmonton Oilers started the season with a thrilling but disappointing 8-round shootout loss to the Flames. Rogers Place roared to life as the Oilers leapt out of the gate, gaining a 3-0 lead over Calgary. Didn't last. Mistakes cost the Oilers a season-opening victory. The final, in the end, 4-3 Flames. Edmonton hosts Vancouver on Saturday. And during the game, the Oilers announced some early season reinforcement last night. The team has signed forward Jack Roslovic to a 1-year deal worth $1.5 million. The 28-year-old scored 22 goals and 39 points with the Carolina Hurricanes last season. And the Battle of Alberta brought a family together while also leaving them divided.
That's exactly what you expect the Battle of Alberta to be. That close, overtime to a shootout. It was everything you want it to be.
Peyton and Tessa Partaker live near Lac La Biche and got engaged at an Oilers-Flames playoff game in 2022. Last night, they took their daughter Era to her first ever NHL game with tickets they received as a wedding gift. While mom's an Oilers fan, dad cheers for the Flames, so their daughter finds herself torn on who to root for.
For me, it started off disappointing because it was such a crushing lead, 3-0 the first period. My girl just looked at me like she felt sorry for me sometimes when they were up cheering. She would look down at me and kind of pat me on the shoulder. It's okay, Dad.
And we made a promise.
Yeah, she didn't really want to stand with me every time they scored at the beginning. She was feeling, bad for her dad.
Of course, Peyton had the last laugh with the Flames coming out on top. Edmonton's food bank hopes a rivalry in the rink leads to pasta for people. The Edmonton Oil Kings are supporting the food bank this Thanksgiving weekend with a food drive at the game. The Oil Kings take on the Lethbridge Hurricanes Monday. They're asking fans to bring pasta, mac and cheese, or any non-perishable food that can be used as a noisemaker. After the game, the food can be donated to Edmonton's food bank. The food bank's executive director says its service is in high demand.
The struggle we're having is that, of course, the numbers of people we're serving is so high that food basically comes in, gets sorted, and it's back out into the community in a very, very short period of time.
40,000 friends, neighbors, and fellow Edmontonians are coming to the Edmonton's Food Bank every month, and we with the Edmonton Oil Kings want to help those people in need. So the partnership is out of need, and Marjorie and Tamazin and everyone here at the Food Bank, they do an amazing job. The volunteers, everyone's smiling here as they get the hampers ready for Thanksgiving, and we're so lucky to be able to be part of it.
The Oil Kings have raised more than 4,500 pounds of food and more than $2,000 for the food bank during the last 2 Thanksgiving drives. If you forget your pasta, the Oil Kings will be selling some in Monday's game. The puck drops at noon. And Josh is out on the town tonight at the Chateau Lacombe. Josh, what brings you there?
Yeah, well, it's the Uniquely Me fashion show in support of the Edmonton Down Syndrome Society, and I get to co-host this while models strut their stuff on the catwalk. Models like Jenny. Jenny, how excited are you for the fashion show tonight?
I'm really excited, Josh.
You look beautiful. You got your hair done, your makeup done. What are you wearing tonight?
I'm going to be wearing a black skirt touching my knees.
Yes.
And a really fun flowery top with fun sleeves.
This is your first year modeling, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, and so are you excited?
Oh, yes, I am.
What are you looking forward to most?
Everything.
Just the whole experience.
Oh, yes, it's going to be great.
Okay, tell me about the Edmonton Down Syndrome Society. Why do you think it's important that people support Edmonton Down Syndrome Society?
It's all about people with Down syndrome that can be whatever they want and be whoever they want. And they are beautiful, they are worth it, and they are capable to do a lot of things in life.
Sure, including like some acting. You have some acting gigs coming up, and maybe even doing a little bit of weather. Would you like to help me with some weather?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. Oh, I would love it too, Jenny. Let's take a look at temperatures outside around the Edmonton area right now. Jenny, what's our temperature in Edmonton right now?
Today in Edmonton is 16 degrees.
Yeah, it's warmer in the city than it is just outside. It's a pretty warm day for October, don't you think?
It really is, Josh.
Yeah, in fact, 5 degrees above averages. We got to 17 for a daytime high. Do you think it's going to be warm again tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, it will be.
Yeah, sunny again tomorrow. You can see the clear skies over the province. And what about those? 20 degrees could be the last 20 that we see this year, and then it cools off through the course of the Thanksgiving long weekend.
Of course not.
Okay, good. I hope Jenny's right. We'll take a look at that long weekend forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you, Josh and Jenny. Still ahead on CTV News at 6, the issue of infill.
We are sad, we are anxious, stressed, and at times angry, and you don't seem to care.
How Edmonton's mayoral candidates plan to change the way infill housing is reshaping mature neighborhoods. Stay with us.
Tomorrow on Your Morning Edmonton, wildlife experts flocking to our city for a conference on bats. And Lego Jurassic World opening at the TELUS World of Science. We'll get an early look Friday morning.
Your Morning Edmonton, weekdays.
By James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Infill housing is reshaping Edmonton neighborhoods under a new zoning bylaw as the city aims to grow up rather than out. The current approach is not proving popular on the campaign trail, and every top mayoral candidate has a plan to make changes. In part 3 of our mayoral race breakdown, CTV's Jeremy Thompson looks at what adjustments each of them are suggesting for infill and housing in general.
It's one thing to talk about density in a growing city. It's another experience entirely when that density casts a literal shadow over your life. As multiplexes and other infill homes take shape in mature neighborhoods, many Edmontonians are pushing back, and the people running for mayor are listening.
City Council got an earful from Edmontonians on infill housing this summer. The citywide zoning overhaul that took effect in 2024 allows up to 8 units on most residential lots.
We are sad, we are anxious, stressed, and at times angry, and you don't seem to care.
Tim Cartmel was in chambers during that display. He's now pitching a 40-day infill action plan in his bid to become mayor.
Change the definition of height. We will redefine setbacks. We will maximize the number of units on a typical city lot at 4. We will talk about parking requirements. We will talk about trash requirements. We will talk about the requirement to engage with the community.
Cartmel decided to stick to his vacation plans when that hearing ran long, missing a vote that could have capped the mid-block maximum to 6 units. Now he wants voters to know he's committed to reining in disruptions to daily life.
We're going to talk about the cumulative effect on a neighborhood of construction, of neighborhood renewal, of bike lanes, of infill. And when a neighborhood has had too many of those things in too short a time, we're going to stop it for a while.
We're seeing these big, huge monstrosities being put up. And it really boils down to growing tomatoes, you know?
Big shadows and maintaining neighborhood character are concerns Omar Mohammed hears about in central areas. Instead of disturbing mature communities with multiplexes, he'd like to see a greater focus on developing Blatchford.
Urban sprawl is not going to be the answer here. We don't have the money. We've got the land, but we don't have the money to build that. So the increased density is going to be the natural result.
Some of these homeowners, this was their nest egg. This was their investment, and their value has dropped as a result. No one's going to buy that now.
While none of the candidates believe the current rules for infill are correct, their suggested changes range from small tweaks to a complete overhaul. All 5 candidates say 8 units is too many. Knack and Mohammed support a 6-unit maximum. Walters and Cartmel think 6 is fine, but only on corner lots. Otherwise, they say infill should cap off at 4 units. Raheem Jaffer says the whole residential section of the new zoning bylaw needs to be scrapped.
I think you have no choice given all the bad blood and given how this has been rolled out. Tweaking, I think even though you could move towards that, you almost need a reset to say, you know, we got to stop and start over because this should have never happened to begin with.
Jaffer joins Cartmel and Mohammed in calling for parking requirements on infill projects, though they differ slightly on the proper ratio. Cartmel plans to form citizen action groups for council to consult on all things infill, while Knack wants to expand the infill compliance team to hold rule-breaking builders to account. Michael Walters says a city catalog of approved infill floor plans and designs is worth exploring. In fact, every candidate wants infill to look nicer.
We've decided to mostly attempt to solve housing supply shortage by reinventing mature neighborhoods, which has really broken public trust.
Walters wants to shift the city's housing focus to redeveloping areas like the exhibition lands where the Coliseum will soon be demolished. He also wants to speed up building in Blatchford by selling land to developers.
My goal is that at the end of the next 4 years, people stop rolling their eyes about Blatchford and start to speak proudly about it.
Andrew Knack believes infill addresses population loss in mature neighborhoods, helps with strained city finances, and brings down the cost of housing by adding to the supply.
We need to be thoughtful about it, but we also need to make sure we're not going backwards, because Edmonton is still the most affordable major city in Canada. This is one of the few major cities where if you are younger, you at least have a chance to get a home.
Knack says he's learned from infill growing pains this term. He wants to see how Edmontonians respond to recent adjustments.
We finally have a program called the Construction Accountability Program, which allows the city to go as far as actually revoking the business license of a builder who is not following the rules.
The outgoing council did make some adjustments to infill rules at the tail end of the term, shrinking the maximum footprint, which could encourage parking space. Fewer side entrances are now allowed, and council added some design rules to make infills more appealing from the street. Jeremy Thompson, CTV News, Edmonton.
Still ahead, grizzly bears headed east.
Although there was always bears here, there's now quite a few more, and they've now taken up residence.
Why the bears may be moving further into the prairies and the problems that farmers are encountering.
Models will be strutting on that runway behind me later on this evening. Tomorrow, temperatures strut their way to 20. And then it gets really chilly through the Thanksgiving long weekend. Not much has changed to that forecast over the past few days. We'll give you the latest right after the break.
Programming brought to you by Century Casino. 3 great locations: Edmonton, St. Albert, and Century Mile. Programming brought to you by James H. Brown Injury Lawyers, the heavy hitters of injury law.
Grizzly bears are showing up in parts of the prairies they have not called home in more than a century. It's causing conflict with landowners and their livestock. As CTV's Terry Fikowski reports, researchers are trying to understand what's driving the return.
Clint Marr's family has been ranching cattle outside of Twin Butte for over 80 years. And while sharing the land with wildlife isn't new, the increasing number of grizzly bears is.
Although there was always bears here, there's now quite a few more, and they've now taken up residence.
He's lost cattle worth tens of thousands of dollars to grizzlies. A problem until the last few years was quite rare.
We've had bears come right into our corrals and kill calves there.
After a few close calls of his own, he now carries a gun and doesn't let his granddaughter roam the property the way he did growing up.
About every rancher in this area has run into a bear on a fence line fencing or when they're calving.
Researchers with the Carnivores and Communities program are in the early stages of a project looking to connect with landowners or anyone who suspects or has seen a den in southern Alberta. Historically, grizzlies roamed the prairies freely until early settlers pushed the populations out in the early 1900s. They're now predominantly in the mountains or foothills, but have been moving further east with more sightings, encounters, and reports of dens in the grasslands. Data for the region is more than a decade old, but experts say it likely points to a growing number of grizzlies in Alberta.
Over, again, these last couple decades, certainly the population has grown from what it was, and as that happens, bears are moving into new places.
And that's meant more encounters, including an August attack on a man near Cardston. The Ministry of Forestry and Parks introduced a targeted hunt for problem grizzly bears last year, but Todd Lowen says there are no plans to expand it or remove the 2006 ban on hunting.
There's a lot of worry, I think, in a lot of rural Alberta where these the bears have expanded into where they haven't been traditionally. And so I think we have to keep our eye on that and make sure that Albertans are safe and feel safe.
Marr understands bears belong on the landscape too, but can't ignore ones that become a threat to his family and livelihood.
If you got a bad bear, you've got a bad bear. They need to be dealt with.
Terry Fikowski, CTV News in Twin Butte.
All right, back to Chateau Lacombe now. Josh, weather change just in time for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean, there's really sort of 3 really chilly days in the next week and a half to 2 weeks, and they just happen to line up with the long weekends. That's the way it times out sometimes. Today was spectacular. Take a look outside right now with the River Valley Skycam. It's brought to you by Action Furnace. Fixed right or it's free. We're at 16 degrees, and it's been nothing but sunshine all day today. It was a frosty start to parts of the Edmonton area, although temperatures officially in the city only dipped to 0 early this morning. I think we'll stay above 0 tomorrow. 17, your daytime high here in the city this afternoon, so way above average. 16s in Grand Prairie and Fort McMurray, 16 as well for the high in Red Deer this afternoon. And almost everybody was enjoying mainly sunny skies. And we get another one of those sunny days tomorrow. This high pressure system will start to slip off to the east, but it looks like skies will stay clear tonight and through the first half of the day tomorrow. And then late tomorrow afternoon, if you're in western Alberta through the foothills and the mountain parks, you will likely see some increased cloud cover and maybe some showers. But for really almost the entire rest of the province, it's just nothing but a nice kick of warm air coming in from the south. And so almost everybody is going to be in the high teens or low 20s tomorrow. And we'll be close to 20 here in the city. As that low moves off to the northeast, it will bring some rain. Fort McMurray all the way back to the west-southwest through the Jasper region, Hinton, Edson, and you can see in Jasper and up around high level, that will likely change over to some snow. In fact, I think we'll see some accumulating snow through parts of western Alberta as we head through into Saturday night and early Sunday. Here in Edmonton, best chance for showers is going to be midday Saturday, and then looks like most of the rain and snow will avoid the Edmonton area, but I've left a slight chance of some flurries in the forecast for late Saturday night and early in the day on Sunday. The big story is really going to be the drop in temperature and the wind, as opposed to snow. Now, it's a different story in, as we said, western Alberta. Don't, write these snowfall totals in stone. This is just raw model output, but it does give you an idea of where that heavier accumulating snow is going to be, and it's all through the foothills and the mountain parks. In fact, you could see maybe 5 to 15 centimeters worth of snow. Banff, Kananaskis reaches. I think Calgary probably gets a little bit of snow by midday Sunday, and across the north, we'll see some pockets of snow as well. Here in Edmonton, if we get anything at all, it will just be flurries. there were your temperatures today in the orange zone. Watch the Reds take over for parts of the province tomorrow, so that has us up to about 20. But there's your cool down Saturday. Gets even chillier into Sunday, Monday. Even Tuesday is still on the below average side. I think by Wednesday of next week, we should be back into highs in the 10 to 15 range. We're at 16 downtown Edmonton right now. We'll see temperatures through this evening and overnight tonight slide to about 2 degrees in the morning hours. And then 20 degrees for potentially one last time this year tomorrow afternoon with light wind and sunshine. Cloudy through the weekend, gusts to about 40 kilometers per hour both Saturday and Sunday. Chance of showers Saturday, especially midday, and then that risk of a few flurries. Look at those temperatures. 10 on Saturday for a high, 3 or 4 for daytime highs Sunday, Monday, and then after that, it bounces back. I mean, sometimes you just can't win with the timing of these sorts of things. It'd be nice if that 20-degree temperature in the sunshine, Jeff, could be at least one of the days this long weekend, but doesn't look like that's going to happen. Hey, you can hear it is getting loud down here, and everybody is excited for what is always one of the favorite events on my calendar every year. If you've never been to the Uniquely Me fashion show for the Edmonton Down Syndrome Society, make sure you put it on your calendar of events for next year.
Okay, thank you, Josh. Stay with us. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Cautious optimism. Ceasefire deal will hold.
The next 48 hours are crucial. We urge the parties, particularly Hamas, to follow through, release all the hostages.
2 years of war in Gaza paused, and
we need to give equal opportunities with the energy in the whole world.
A filmmaker bringing his unique perspective to a documentary on energy poverty.
Music of Star Wars with your Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. Learn more at winspearcenter.com.
There is cautious celebration in Gaza and Israel as the first phase of a peace deal has been agreed to. A pause in 2 years of fighting and hope Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners will soon be exchanged. As CTV's Heather Wright reports, there is still much to be negotiated.
Standing on top of emergency vehicles, paramedics in Gaza City celebrate the first step toward peace. Honestly, these are indescribable feelings, this man says. We can't believe it. At Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, dancing and singing. Hope that finally the hostages will soon be home.
This is the joy that we are waiting for.
While many important details still need to be ironed out, the first phase of this truce will see all remaining Israeli hostages freed in exchange for hundreds of Palestinians being held in Israeli jails. Israeli forces will also withdraw to an agreed-upon line.
The next 48 hours are crucial. We urge the parties, particularly Hamas, to follow through, release all the hostages.
Many questions still remain, with the more contentious elements of a long-term deal yet to be agreed to, including Israeli demands that Hamas disarm and the complete withdrawal of Israeli troops from the enclave.
When they disarm, whether Israel withdraws sufficiently to send a signal to Hamas that they can disarm, those are the questions going forward.
In the meantime, Israel is preparing hospitals to receive the hostages once they are released after more than 730 days in captivity. Palestinians hopeful that once the bombing stops, they can begin to rebuild their lives. A daunting task with an estimated 2 million people displaced, according to the United Nations, and much of the enclave reduced to rubble.
What we need, of course, is humanitarian supplies. We need food, we need water, hygiene, tents, equipment for the winter to support people in this new phase of the response.
U.S. President Donald Trump says the 48 remaining hostages will be released on either Monday or Tuesday, 20 of whom are still believed to be alive. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
A Ukrainian-Canadian filmmaker is drawing from his personal experience living in a war-torn country for his latest documentary about energy poverty. CTV's Stephanie Thomas reports.
A new documentary is highlighting regions of Peru where there is no power, no electricity grid. In Help is on the way, the filmmakers explore energy poverty. One of the crew has firsthand experience of actual power struggles.
People in Peru, they don't have opportunities whole life. My life before that, I know how good life can look like. They don't know.
Ukrainian filmmaker Mykola Pelikov says Russia constantly manipulated the power and energy supply to Ukraine, causing blackouts and devastation. He moved his family to Calgary and soon traveled to Peru for the film. Knowing what it's like to live without power, he says energy for electricity needs to be more widely available.
We need to give equal opportunities with the energy in the whole world. Not only in Canada, in rich countries, people take energy for granted.
The film captures a team from Calgary-based charity Light Up the World as they connect villages in the Andes Mountains with solar panels, batteries, LED lights, and the internet.
What do you do without electricity? What is there to do without electricity? If you don't have electricity, you don't have communications, you don't have light. It just limits you in so many different ways.
Other producers say the project is about more than the documentary itself.
Energy poverty is a huge issue for billions of people around the world, and it's a crisis. But we also wanted to offer hope. So our goal in making the film was to shine a light on the issue, but also try to provide some solutions.
The production company has also set up a GoFundMe for Light Up the World, hoping more Canadians consider sharing its abundant energy. Stephanie Thomas, CTV News, Calgary.
Coming up, smoothing things over.
They don't ask, is it Canadian or American? They said, can we ship it by Tuesday?
Canadian lawmakers and car makers insist the auto sector isn't in danger. Plus,
ultimately, what I've learned is companies rather have contracts than subsidies from the government.
The federal government's three-pronged strategy to usher Canada into a new industrial era. And here we have a live look. Anthony Henday Drive, 87th Ave in West Edmonton, the tail end of rush hour. Lots of vehicles in the not-too-distant future. Trains going over the new LRT bridge. Stay with us. Checking on the markets, the Canadian dollar closed at 71 cents U.S. today. Oil was down $1, closing at $61.51 U.S. a barrel. Gold lost nearly $98. The TSX and Dow Jones ended the day lower. TSX losing 232 points. The Dow Jones dropped 243. Well, it's unclear what Mark Carney accomplished on his Tuesday trip to Washington and meeting with Donald Trump. A comment by the U.S. Secretary of Commerce sent a chill across the border. CTV's Michael Couture has reaction from Ottawa.
A day after the American Commerce Secretary said Canada must come second to the U.S. in the auto sector, Canadian lawmakers and car makers insist the industry isn't in danger.
They don't ask, is it Canadian or American? They said, can we ship it by Tuesday?
At a Senate Committee on Foreign Affairs, Canadian automotive groups tried to calm the waters. The head of the Canadian Vehicle Manufacturers Association says Howard Lutnick's comments are just posturing.
We know that we need each other. We have an integrated supply chain. Canada is the most important market for the U.S. auto manufacturing sector. So we should expect these ups and downs through the next few weeks.
The U.S. currently has a 25% tariff on Canadian-made cars, with a carve-out for the U.S. elements in those vehicles. However, the Canadian auto parts industry says their American counterparts are lobbying the White House.
Those Canadian assembly plants buy $25 billion worth of parts from our factories every year, and you're hurting us.
The Ford Motor Company reported that tariffs will cost it about $2 billion U.S. this year. General Motors lost $1.1 billion in the second quarter. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says the Prime Minister isn't standing up for the industry.
He's accepting second place for Canadian auto workers and continuing tariffs on our finished
products.
The federal finance minister disagrees, saying the Carney government is fighting for the auto sector and its workers.
I see ourselves, when I say that, Canada and the U.S. more as complementary than in real competition.
That argument is likely being made by the Minister of Canada-U.S. Trade, Dominic LeBlanc, who remains in Washington to continue talks with his American counterparts. Mike Lecouteur, CTV News, Ottawa.
As well today, the Liberals laid out a new industrial strategy. It's meant to address the downside of tariffs while creating new jobs and attracting investment. CTV's Rachel Aiello has more.
Today, Industry Minister Melanie Joly said the federal government has a vision to bring Canada into a new industrial era. It's a three-pronged strategy: protect tariff sectors, create new jobs, and draw in global investment and talent by building up key Canadian industries.
We know that we can build the best ships, the best planes, the best drones, and have very strong supply chains across the country. We can have researchers, engineers, and welders at work. We will use the power of procurement to create jobs. Because ultimately what I've learned is companies rather have contracts than subsidies from the government.
Detailing how she and Prime Minister Mark Carney plan to make this happen, Joly said Ottawa will leverage the new Buy Canadian edict to source domestic goods such as lumber and steel for future home building and defense contracts. And approving major projects will fuel growth in the critical mineral and energy sectors. Though experts are already cautioning strategies like this can go sideways quickly, and the key challenge will be how it's executed. The minister, tapping into her time as Canada's top diplomat, also said she wants to see Canadian companies become bigger, not only to solidify Canada's sovereignty, but to increase this country's soft power and influence abroad. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Coming up, Canada's team advances.
Well, I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
Reaction from lifelong Jays fans as the team looks ahead to the American League Championship Series. Stay with us.
We've got another great night of entertainment coming up right here on CTV, starting at 7 with E-Talk. Programming brought to you by Southview Acura. For family-owned, award-winning excellence, Southview Acura, where luxury meets reality.
Toronto Blue Jays are moving on after defeating the Yankees 5-2 last night. Fans are relishing the win and looking ahead to the American League Championship Series for the first time in a decade. CTV's Raheem Ladani has more.
Bedazzled in blue, Jays fans are embracing every moment of Toronto's postseason push.
It's great for the city, it's great for the economy, and it pulls the country together.
For the first time since 2016, the Jays are heading back to the American League Championship Series.
It's the team of destiny. I'm inspired.
I have been a fan since day one. I was in '93. I was here when we won the World Series, so this is very exciting for me.
Start spreading the news.
In the Bronx, the teams popped bottles of champagne after eliminating the New York Yankees from the postseason. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
The Yankee lose.
Taunted, tortured Yankees fans Wednesday night.
I'd like to show you one of my prized possessions.
Watching it all unfold from her home was 88-year-old Joyce Zweig.
Well, I thought I was going to have a heart attack.
Zweig and her family have been to every Jays home opener since the inaugural one at Exhibition Stadium back in 1977.
I did not believe that we really were going to have a major league team in Toronto. It was a terrible day. It was cold. It was snowy.
Even as a lifelong fan, though, Zweig wasn't able to snag a seat for the upcoming ALCS home games. And she isn't the only one struggling to access tickets.
50,000th in line, have a couple windows open for Game 7, Game 1, And thankfully, I scored one ticket for Game 7, like right up high.
The Jays still don't know if they'll face the Detroit Tigers or Seattle Mariners in the next round. But inside the Jays shop, fans buying merchandise have high expectations.
Add it to the collection, collect them as we go. And the next one will be a World Series one, hopefully.
As the Jays are 4 wins away from appearing in the World Series.
Raheem Ladani, CTV News, Toronto.
And that is our show for this evening. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us. For news anytime, visit ctvnewsedmonton.ca or you can find us on YouTube. See ya.